students, welcome to online biology classes. So this is a fourth class. So in this class we are going to study the how the megasporogenesis, megagametogenesis and the in detail structure of the anatropous ovule and the embryo sac. Before that one, whatever the topic we covered, just recall that one. So under the pre-fertilization structure, almost the male reproductive part we covered: stamen, anther, microsporangia, pollen grain. This is ovum. So next one, under this heading only, the pistil structure we covered. This is a female reproductive part. The pistil means carpel. So the every pistil or the carpel is made up of stigma, style and ovary. Inside this ovary, placenta is there. On that placenta, megasporangium or ovule is attached. Clear? So we will take the next heading, that is a megasporangium or the anatropous ovulatum. Clear? So this is a simple figure. Clear? Megasporangium means it is a integumented indehiscence megasporangium. So where this is the chalazial end, this is a micropellar end, this is a funicle, and this is a point where the ovule and the funicle is attached. It is hilum. So from the chalazial end, integument generate and cover the ovule completely except one point, that is called the micropyle. Inside these two integument, nucellus is there. In that one, the embryo sac is there. The embryo sac structure today we are going to cover. So this is the anatropous ovule. Yeah? The basic question, how this ovule or the megasporangium develop inside this ovary. This is an extension of syllabus, but actually not given in the textbook one. So just understand this one. So it is not necessary to perfect. Yeah? So development of megasporangium or the ovule one. So if you take this ovary, so in that placenta is there. Clear? From that placenta, some projection develops. Clear? So these are nothing but nucellus cell, here which are hypodermal in position 1. So placenta means, so some outgrowth will take place. These are the nothing but the homogeneous mass of nucellus cell. So some of the hypodermal cell of this nucellus became archisporial cell. Some. So it is a prominent one with the large amount of cytoplasma and prominent nucleus. So this archisporial cell undergo division and produce two cells, that is primary parietal cell, that is the inner outer one, and primary sporogenous cell. Same, almost the same topic we covered in the development of anther. Clear? In that also archisporial cell present, so that will divide the primary parietal cell and primary sporogenous cell. Primary parietal cell either divide or it remain as it is. Either divides or not. Okay? But primary sporogenous cell, so this will develop into special cell, that is the megaspore mother cell. So this is megaspore mother cell. Here, so till that one the primitive ovule-like structure is formed. This parietal cell may divide and form the integument one, and primary sporogenous cell develop into megaspore mother cell. The further development of means the conversion means whatever the changes take place from the megaspore mother cell, that comes under the heading megasporogenesis. So this megasporogenesis topic is well covered in the textbook. So now try to understand this further topic. This is the extension. So next heading is a megasporogenesis. So in male reproductive part, microsporogenesis we studied. Yeah, same way, but it is totally different from that one. Megasporogenesis means, definition first I will write. it is a formation of haploid megaspore from diploid megaspore mother cell through meiosis is called as megasporogenesis. This is simple. The formation of haploid megaspore from megaspore mother cell, which is just produced from the sporogenous tissue, megaspore mother cell, through process called the meiosis is called the megasporogenesis. So by figure we are going to understand one. So after the megasporogenesis, only megaspores are produced, not embryo sac one. From that megaspore, again embryo sac formation, that is a different one. That is a megagametogenesis. Now megasporogenesis means, so these are the micellar cell inside. This is megaspore mother cell. This is megaspore mother cell, which is diploid in nature. Clear? Meiosis means two successive division. First meiotic division take place and dyad is formed, means two megaspores. So now first meiotic division is a reduction one, means in this process only the chromosome number is reduced. So this is a diploid megaspore mother cell. So these are the haploid megaspore. But still one more step is there, that is a meiosis 2. After meiosis 2, so almost 4 megaspores are formed. So these are the 4 megaspores still surrounded by the micellar cells. Here, but now just correlate to the position one. So these megaspore mother cell present toward the micropylarity here in this region. Here, this spore mother cell undergo first meiotic division. This is a meiosis first, and this is a meiosis 2. Here, so this is, these are megaspore tetrad, and all are haploid in nature. And this green color cells are nothing but the micellar cell. So this is only megasporogenesis. Can you correlate? Can you recall this one? What happened in the microsporogenesis? In the microsporogenesis, polar mother cell undergo meiotic division and produce the microspore tetrad. So they are also arranged in the same manner. Either it is a tetrahedral, isobilateral, decussate, T-shaped or linear. So that is a microspore. These are the megaspores. Now what is the next event? So the formation of embryo sac from these megaspores is called a megagametogenesis. But whether all these megaspores develop into embryo sac, what happens? So that is the main point. Now what happens? So 4 megaspores are present. Now correlate this one. So this end is called as a micropylar end, and this end is called the Schalazar end. Means this end. Means this is toward the lower side, Schalazar end means this side. Next one, megagametogenesis. Gametogenesis or formation of embryo sac. What happened? Same story will continue. Clear? So that is a megaspore tetrad. So this is a megaspore tetrad. 4 megaspores are there. And now I will not draw this nucellus cell, only megaspore tetrad. Out of this one, 4 megaspore, the 3 megaspore which are present toward the micropylar end, this is the chalazal end. This is the micropylar end, this is chalazal end. Out of this 4, 3 will degenerate. Means, so these 3 megaspore degenerate. 1, 2, 3. The 3 megaspore which are present toward the micropylar end degenerate. Only this lower megaspore is a functional one. The cell which is present toward the chalazal end. So this is a functional megaspore. This is functional megaspore, which is haploid in nature. Yes. In microsporogenesis, all 4 microspore have the potential to develop into each pollen grain. Means from each pollen mother cell, 4 microspores are produced. That 4 microspore develop into pollen grain, and all pollen grains are the male gametophyte. Means in male reproductive part, millions of male gametophytes are produced, but in female reproductive part, out of these 4 megaspore, 3 megaspore which are present toward the micropylar end degenerate. Only 1 megaspore present toward the chalazal end became functional. Now what happened next? So these are the 2 meiotic division. Next, this functional megaspore undergo 3 successive free nuclear mitotic division and produce the 8 nucleate embryo sac. Now formation of embryo sac from this megaspore is nothing but the megagametogenesis. This is important. Now what happened? Up till here meiosis occur. Now this megaspore undergo first meiotic division, mitotic division, sorry. This is the first mitotic division. One nucleus divide to form 2 nucleus, both the nucleus migrate to the opposite pole. This is 2 nucleate embryo sac. Yes. Now again these 2 nucleus undergo second mitotic division and form 1, 2, 3, 4. So now this embryo sac contains 4 nucleus. That's why it is a 4 nucleate embryo sac. This is a 2 nucleate embryo sac. This is a 4 nucleate embryo sac. Still cell wall is not, means plasma membrane or cell wall is not laid down. Now this is a second mitotic division. Now the last mitotic division occurs and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 4. So this is the third mitotic division occurs, and this turn into 8 nucleate embryo sac. Yes. Now this is only division. Clear? 2 meiotic division, first meiotic, second meiotic, 4 megaspores are produced. Out of this one, 3 megaspore undergo degeneration. Only one functional megaspore is present. That functional megaspore undergo 3 successive free nuclear mitotic division and produce 8 nucleate embryo cell. Clear? Now what happened to this one? After 3 mitotic division, so one nucleus from the each pole migrate toward the center. Yes, so this will migrate toward the center and this will migrate toward the center, and 2 nucleus come toward the center. Rearrangement of nucleus takes place. Now after that one, cell wall is laid down. This is a 2 nucleate embryo sac, 4 nucleate embryo sac, 8 nucleate embryo sac. This is also 8 nucleate embryo sac. But after cell wall formation laid down, out of 8 nucleus, now cell wall is laid down in such a way that now this is a micropylar end, means this is also micropylar end. Towards the micropylar end, 3 cells are present. 1, 2, 3. Yes. Towards the antipodal cell, again 3 cells are there. 1, 2, 3. Yes. Center cell is a larger one. This is a large central cell with the 2 nucleus. Yes. Now can you understand? Out of 8 nucleus, only 6 nucleus covered with the cell wall and remaining 2 nucleus present in the one cell. Clear? So specific name still I have not told this one. So this is the embryo sac. Clear? So in detail figure I will draw above here, and again anatropous ovule. This figure again I am going to draw this. So this is a 8 nucleate embryo sac. So just wait for a second. Yes, continue the same topic. So this is a 8 nucleate embryo sac. The in detail figure I will draw here. So the 8 nucleate embryo sac will appear like this one. So same. The 3 cells which are present toward the micropylar end. So this is the micropylar end. So this is micropylar end, and this is chalaza. The 3 cells which are present toward the micropylar end. So the complete structure of these 3 cells is called as the egg apparatus. In that one, the central cell is called as the egg cell or the oosphere, and true lateral cell is called as the synergids. Collectively, the synergid and egg, this is the synergid, collectively called as the egg apparatus, which is present toward the micropylar. So this is a 2-mark question. Name the cells which are present in the egg apparatus means 2 synergid and 1 egg. So towards the chalazal end, 3 cells are present. So these are the cooperative cell or the antipodal cell. Every cell is again surrounded by the separate cell wall. Yes. Now in the center, one large cell is there. It has a separate plasma membrane, and in the center cell, 2 nuclei are present, which are migrate from the 2 polar ends. So these are the polar nucleus. So this is central cell, these two are polar nucleus, and the cells which are present in the chalazoid, these are called as the antipodal cell or the cooperative cell. Clear? So this is a mature embryo sac. So now some terminology. So the embryo sac is, this is mature embryo sac, which is 7 celled and 8 nucleate structure. Can you understand this one? So it contains 7 cells, 3 cells which are present toward the micropylar end, 3 cells present toward the chalazoid end, 3 plus 3 6, and this is a central large cell. So due to that one it contains 7 cells, but due to the presence of 2 nucleus in the center cell, it is an 8 nucleus one. So this is a 8 nucleate 7 cell or 7 cell 8 nucleus embryo cell. Clear? So the first figure we have drawn, that is an anatropous ovule. If you want to fit this embryo sac in that anatropous ovule or ovule one, now figure will be like this one. So this is a nucellus. Yes, inside to that one embryo sac is there. So it is a outer integument, inner integument, and this is a outer integument. So this is inner integument and this is outer integument, and this layer will come and hilum, and this is a finicle. This is the anatropous ovule which we drawn in the last video. So this is a raphe which will extend. Now, if you want to fit this embryo sac into this megasporangium, now direction is a main feature. So this is the chalazoid end, this is a micropylar end, but here, so we kept this one as a micropylar end, this is a chalazoid end. If you want to fit this embryo sac into this ovule one, we have to rotate this one, otherwise we have to rotate this one. Clear? If you fit embryo sac in this ovule, then the figure will be like this. The 3 cells which are present toward the micropylar end, in which 1 egg cell and 2 synergids are there. These are the synergids. And 3 cells which are present toward the chalazoid end. These are antipodal cell. And central cell is a larger one. It has a separate membrane, and in the center 2 nucleus are there. These are the polar nucleus. So usually what happens, this is a compulsory 5 marks question in the examination. Draw the neat label diagram of megasporangium or anatropous ovule with embryo sac or without embryo sac. Usually in textbook this embryo sac is not given, only the empty figure is given. Clear? If you want to fit this embryo sac into this ovule, remember antipodal cells always present toward the chalazoid end and egg apparatus always present to the micropylar. If you rotate this one, complete morphology or anatomy changes. Clear? So this is the final figure of anatropous ovule. Clear? So can you give the explanation for this one? So the anatropous ovule is a integumented indehiscent megasporangium. It is attached to the placenta with the help of funicle. This is a funicle. The funicle will attach to the body of the ovule at the site called the hilum. Clear? So the ridge-like structure is there, that is called the raphe, that will supply the nutrition to the ovule one. So this end is called the chalazoid end. From this point, integument arises. One integument will cover the ovule completely except one point where the integument is totally absent. This point is called the micropylar end. So this end is called the micropylar end, this end is called the chalazoid end. Number of integument may vary, either 1, 2, 3, sometimes integument is absent. Inside the integument, this is a nucellus, which is a nutritive tissue. Inside to that one, embryo sac is there. This embryo sac is a 7-celled 8-nucleate structure. So 3 cells which are present toward the chalazal end called as the antipodal cell. So 3 cells which are present toward the micropylar end is called collectively called as the egg apparatus. In that one egg is there and 2 synergid, and center cell contain the 2 polar nucleus. One major feature means when you take the synergid, here blue color finger like appendicite here. Here also it is little bit well portion. So this is nothing but the filiform apparatus. Here, so labels I will write little bit clumsy. So this is funicle, this is hilum, this is chalazal end. These cells are called as antipodal cells. This is central cell. These 2 nucleus are polar nucleus, and this red color figure is nothing but the egg. This is a female gamete, means only 1 cell out of this 8 cell one. So these cells are called as a synergid. Collectively it is called the egg apparatus. So when you compare the microsporogenesis, microgametogenesis and megasporogenesis and megagametogenesis, major difference means from microspore mother cell 4 microspores are produced. All these microspores have the potential to develop into 4 microspore or pollen grain. Productivity is maximum. Clear? If you take the female reproductive part, so megaspore mother cell undergo meiosis and produce the as usual 4 megaspore. Out of the 4 megaspore, 3 undergo degeneration, only 1 remain as a functional. That functional megaspore undergo 3 successive division and produce mature embryo sac. Here come one point. If the embryo sac develop from only 1 megaspore, then such embryo sacs are called as a monosporic embryo sac. If embryo sac develop from only 1 functional megaspore, such embryo sac are called the monosporic. Now, if 2 megaspores are functional, for example, this is also there. If the 2 megaspores are there, then how many mitotic divisions are required to produce the 7-cell 8-nucleate embryo sac? Obviously, if the 2 nucleus are already present here, so if the 2 megaspores are involved, then only 2 mitotic division take place and ultimately same embryo sac produced. Clear? If all these 4 megaspores are involved, clear? 1, 2, 3, 4, all these megaspores involved in the embryo sac formation, such embryo sac are called the tetrasporic. It is a monosporic. If 2 are present involved, then it is a bisporic. If all 4s are involved, then it is a tetrasporic. But most of the case is a monosporic embryo sac is present. So this is about the embryo sac. So most of the angiosperm plant contain the anatropous ovule, means like this structure. Apart from this, almost 6 types of ovules are there. So that is not given in the textbook one. The ovule is either orthotropous, anatropous, hemianatropous, campylotropous, sarcinotropous, amphitropous. So all that topic we will cover in the next class in briefly. Now next topic is pollination and fertilization. All that is a process only. So these are all pre-fertilization structure, and pre-fertilization event means microsporogenesis and microgametogenesis. So this is only means this much only topic we covered in the today's video. So remaining topic we will cover in the next video. Till then, take care of yourself. Have a good day.